Namaskaram. Welcome to our Golu. This year our theme is Brahmarishi. It all begins with goddess Lalitambike who creates the universe, and once she creates the universe, she sends a Pushpa Vimanam, a magical flight of sorts, to bring Brahma, Vishnu, and Shivan to Shripuram, which is her darbar. And once they arrive there, she tells them, I want each one of you to take up a duty of creation, preservation, and destruction. And to help you with these duties, I give each one of you a consort, which are their three wives, Lakshmi, Saraswati, and Parvati. Now, the first thing that needed to be done was creation. So, Brahma immediately gets to work. He creates the Sanakadi Munivars to create whatever is required in a world. But the four of them say, you know what, we're really not interested in, these worldly things. We just want to pray and do penance. So they look for Shiva and they go off to do penance. That's when Brahma creates the Brahmarishis. The first Brahmarishi is Kashyapa, who gets married to the 13 daughters of King Daksha. And with each of them, he has children. So the first two wives are Diti and Aditi. Aditi is the mother of all the Devas and Diti is the mother of all the Asuras. Now the reason that the Devas and Asuras are so different from one another, even though they have the same father, is because of their mothers. Aditi is a very centered, very divine person. She has a lot of good qualities, which is why she is the mother of all the Devas. Whereas Diti portrays all the negative aspects of a person, which is why she is the mother of all the Asuras, and the Devas and Asuras are so different from one another. The next wife is Kadru, who's the mother of the Nagas, all the divine snakes like Vasuki and Adisesha. Danu is the mother of 100 Danavas, who are the architects, who are the ones who build everything in the world. Arishtas is the mother of Gandharvas, who are the musicians, the dancers, the singers, and all the people of the arts. Surabhi is the mother of cattle. Krodhavasha is the mother of 14,000 Asuras. So Diti is the mother of all the big Asuras, whereas Krodhavasha is the mother of all the smaller Asuras. Tarama is the mother of wild animals. Surasa is the mother of the normal snakes and other marine animals. Muni is the mother of Apsaras. Ila is the mother of plants and trees. Vinata is the mother of birds, including divine birds like Aruna and Garuda. Kasa is the mother of demigods like Kubera. So this way, along with his wives, Kashyapa populates the entire world. The next Rishi is Vashishthar and his wife Arundhati. Vashishthar and Arundhati are known to be an ideal couple. They were really devoted to each other, which is why during weddings, after the bride and groom are married, they are taken out, and Vashishthar and Arundhati also happen to be twin stars. So they're always together up in the sky. So the bride and groom are taken outside to go look at these twin stars. So that even they can live up to be like Vashishthar and Arundhati, the ideal couple. Once King Kaushikar visits Vashishtar's ashram. Now Vashishthar and Arundhati are also very hospitable people. So when King Kaushikar visits their ashram, Vashishthar tells him, you know what, you have to have lunch with us, I insist. But Kaushikar says, no, you know what, I am with my entire army, you're just a rishi, how will you be able to feed all of us? So then Vashishthar says, no, I have a cow named Nandini, who is an amsam of Kamadhenu. So with Nandini's help, he will be able to feed the entire army. Now once this is done, Kaushikar will think, you know what, he's just a rishi, I am a king, if I have this cow, I will be able to do a lot more good with it. So he'll ask Vashishthar to give Nandini to him. But Vashishthar says, no, I got Nandini through a lot of penance. She's a gift of all the worship that I did. So it is not right for me to just give her away. But at this, Kaushikar gets really angry and wages a war on Vashishthar. But despite being a king with an entire army, he loses that war, which is when he realizes, you know what, I think being a Brahmarishi is it's above being a king with an entire army. So he sets out on a journey to become a Brahmarishi himself, and he takes on the name Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra starts doing a lot of penance. The first god he prays to is Lord Shiva, who gets really happy with him and gives him a lot of astra shastras, which Vishwamitra uses to train Ramar, Lakshmanar and the rest of the brothers, since he also happens to be their guru. Now, as Vishwamitra continues doing his penance, he gets more and more powerful, which makes Indra really insecure, because he thinks, what if Vishwamitra gets really powerful and then asks for my throne? So first he'll send a few apsaras to distract him, but Vishwamitra won't get distracted from his meditation. Finally, Indra will send an apsara named Menaka, and Vishwamitra gets distracted by her, and they end up having a baby together whose name is Shakuntala. Now, because of this, he loses all the power of his penance and he'll want to do more meditation and penance. Then there will be a Rakshasi named Tadakai who will keep disturbing every homam he does. So he'll go to King Dasharathar and tell him, you know what, I really want to do a homa, but this Rakshasi keeps troubling me. So send 2 of your sons to come and protect me while I do my prayers. So this is Vishwamitra doing his homam, and Ramar and Lakshmana battle with the Rakshasi Tadakai and they destroy her. There'll be a king named Trishangu who will be a very big devotee of Vishwamitra, and he will have a wish that he wants to go to heaven in his human form. So Vishwamitra will send him. But Indra, sitting up in heaven, will say, no human can come into heaven in their human body. They can only come as their soul or Atma. So he will send Trishangu back to earth, to Bhuloka. But Vishwamitra will say, you know what, I decided to send Trishangu up to heaven. Who is Indra to decide to send him back? So he'll send Trishangu up again. But Indra will send him back down. And Vishwamitra will send them back up. And this keeps happening. Trishangu keeps going up and down, and he ends up getting stuck in the middle. Now Vishwamitra feels really bad for Trishangu, and between Bhuloka and Swarga, he creates another heaven known as Trishangu Swargam, where Trishangu continues to live. Now after doing all of this, Vishwamitra's powers are depleted again, so he does penance one more time, and this time it is to Gayatri Devi, who is really pleased by his penance. So she comes and she blesses him and teaches him the Gayatri Mantram, and he is the one who spreads it all across Bhuloka. Now after doing all of this, one would assume that Vishwamitra is really powerful and he's also Brahmarishi. But even now, Rishi Vashishthar will not agree that he's one of the Brahmarishis, because one of the main qualities of a Rishi is that he's very humble and down to earth. But Vishwamitra would have never bowed his head down to anybody until day. Now we remember the daughter Shakuntala. She would have gotten married to a king named Dushyant, and because of a curse, Dushyant would have forgotten Shakuntala, and she will be walking around a forest aimlessly, which is when Vishwamitra finds her. He feels really hurt that this is the life that his daughter is leading, so he will take her and go to King Dushyant's court, and he will request him to accept his daughter. Now as soon as Dushyant looks at Shakuntala, he will remember everything and they're reunited. And for the sake of his daughter, Vishwamitra would have bowed his head down for the first ever time to somebody else. At this moment, Vashishthar appears and says, you have crossed the final hurdle to being a Brahmarishi, so now we all accept you're finally one of us. Next is Bhrigu. He is also a really great and powerful Brahmarishi, but his only downside will be that he's extremely arrogant. And the reason for this arrogance is that he was born with a third eye under his foot, which made him think he is above everybody else. So once he will go to heaven to just go and meet all the gods and the devas. So the first place he goes is to Indra's Sabha, to Amaravati. But Indra and all the other devas will be so immersed in the Apsara's performances that they won't give him any respect. So Bhrigu Munivar gets really angry and he curses Indra, saying, your throne will never be stable. Which is why at any given point of time, some Asura or the other is fighting to get Indra's throne. Next, he'll go to Brahma Lokam, where Brahma is completely immersed in Saraswati's Veena music, and even he doesn't notice Bhrigu Munivar or give him any respect. So Bhrigu gets upset with Brahma and curses him, saying, you will never be worshipped in Bhuloka, which is why Brahma has no temples in Bhulokam. Next, he'll go to Kailasa, where Shiva, Parvati, and all the Bhutaganas are immersed in Ananda Tandavam, and they also don't pay any attention to Bhrigu Rishi when he goes there. So he gets really upset and curses Shiva, saying he will only be worshipped as a lingam in Bologam, he will never be worshipped in his human form. Finally, he goes to Vaikuntham, and in Vaikuntham, Vishnu is just lying down, and he is also immersed in his thoughts and meditation, and he doesn't respect or give any particular attention to Bhrigu Rishi. And at this point, Bhrigu Munivar has just had it. He's so angry and he's unable to control his anger. He kicks Vishnu in his chest. As soon as this happens, Vishnu wakes up and says, Bhrigu, you kicked me in my chest. Do your legs hurt? Do you want me to press them for you or massage it? But at this, Lakshmi gets really angry with Vishnu, saying, your chest, your heart is where I live, and he kicked me, but instead of getting angry or punishing him, you're going to help him. She gets really angry and she leaves him. Now, because Lakshmi has left him, Vishnu loses all of his wealth and becomes Daridra Narayanan. Lakshmi is reborn as Padmavati in Bhulokam, and Vishnu goes to Kuberan, borrows money as Srinivasa, and gets married to Padmavati, who are the god and goddess of Tirupati. Which is why even now when we go to Tirupati, we give a lot of Kanikai, because Srinivasa needs to repay his loan back to Kubera. Now, the reason why Vishnu went to press or massage Bhrigu Munivar's leg is that while doing so, he will secretly squish that third eye. As soon as this happens, Bhrigu Munivar realizes his mistake. He realizes how much he valued something he lost so easily over everything else, and how he used all of his powers for the wrong reasons. So from that day on, Bhrigu Rishi started using his powers for good things. Next is the story of Jamadagni and Renuka Devi, who are also a really devoted couple. Renuka Devi is a very big pativrata. Such was her power that every day she was able to make a pot out of river sand, right? Using which you can't really sculpt anything. She would make a pot, fill it with water, and take it to the ashramam for Bhrigu Munivar's puja. But one day she would see a deva fly in the sky while doing so, and just for 1 second she would think, oh my god, he is so beautiful, and because of that she won't be able to make her pot that day, no matter how hard she tried. She'll finally give up and go back to the ashramam, and when Jamadagni sees that she does not have the pot of water with her, he'll use his Jnana Drishti to see what happens, and when he sees what happened, he gets really angry, and he has 3 sons. He will command the 3 sons to behead their own mother. That is Renuka Devi. Now the first 2 sons refuse to do so he will kill them. The third son, who's Parashurama, will say, you know what, I cannot refuse my father's wishes, and he will behead his own mother. Once he did this, Jamadagni is really happy with Parashurama and says, okay, I'll give you 2 boons. What do you want? So the first boon, Parashurama asks for his brothers. So Jamadagni will bring his brothers back to life. The second boon, he'll say, I want my mother back. So Jamadagni says, okay fine, bring her head back. I will bring her back to life. Parashurama is so happy that he's getting his mother back that in his happiness he gets confused and brings back the wrong head. And when Jamadagni brings this person back to life, she has the body of Renuka Devi but the head of a person named Yellama Devi. Now Jamadagni says, this is not my wife, so I can't be with her. So the new person, that is Renuka Yellama Devi, goes on to become a village goddess, and because Mari Ottinadnala, she also gets the name Mariamma. Next is the story of Gautamar and Ahalya. Ahalya is also a very big Prativrata, and she was born a very beautiful woman. Now Indra fell in love with her and wanted to get married to her, but Brahma gets Ahalya and Brahmarishi married. So what Indra does is, once when Brahmarishi is not in the ashram, he disguises himself to look like Gautamar to go be with Ahalya. And when Gautamar finds out what has happened, he gets really angry and curses Ahalya to turn into a rock. Years later, when Rama and Lakshmana come to Brahmarishi's ashram, Rama's toe touches that rock and Ahalya is transformed into a human again. And Brahmarishi also realizes his mistake, and he asks for forgiveness, realizing that it wasn't Ahalya's fault, and they are reunited. Next is the story of Atri Munivara and Anusaya. So Naradar, once being Naradar, goes to the Tridevis, that is Parvati, Lakshmi and Saraswati and tells them, you all claim to be such big pativratas, but there is a woman named Anasuya who is the greatest pativrata of them all, and you are all like a joke compared to her. You're nothing next to her. So obviously these three goddesses want to test her. So they go to their respective husbands and say, test this woman and see how committed she is to her husband. So the Trimurtis will transform themselves and come in the form of three Munivars to Anusuya and Atri's ashramam and say, you know what, we are hungry, please feed us lunch. And she says, yes, of course, please come in, I will give you lunch. But they say that no, the thing is we have given up all the worldly things, so if you have to serve us lunch, it has to be done in the nude form. Now at this, Anusuya is really taken aback and she says, how can I do that? I'm a married woman, but at the same time I can't refuse you because you're also my Atithi. So what she does is she takes Atri's kamandalam, she prays and she splashes some water on the three of them and they're immediately transformed into babies. So at this, her inhibitions are no longer there and she's happy to oblige their request. And many days pass like this and the three devas they have not returned to their respective wives. So the three devis get really worried and they come to Atri and Anusuya's ashram to see what is happening. Where Atri and Anusuya have built a cradle, she's singing a lullaby and they're all happily living with these three babies. And that is when the three devis realize their mistake. They ask for Anusuya's forgiveness and they say, please give our husband back. Which is when they realize that the three babies are just not any Munivars, they're the Trimurtis themselves, and Anusuya will transform them back. All of them are really happy with Anusuya and how powerful she is and what a big pativrata she is, that they give them a boon. And Anusuya says, the three of you were like our kids for a while, so we want a child who has the best qualities of all three of you. So years later, Atri and Anusuya have a child named Dattatreya, who has the qualities of all the three devas. Now during Shiva and Parvati's wedding, Parvati's mom will tell Parvati, what kind of a man are you getting married to? You're a princess, but he doesn't have a kulam or a gotram. He just wears tiger skin and he's roaming around a graveyard, right? This is not a suitable man for a princess. Now at this, Parvati feels really bad, but she doesn't say anything to Shiva, but Shiva obviously finds out, because he's Shiva. So he'll transform himself into a very beautiful man named Sundareshwarar. And at one point, since Atri and Anusuya were like his parents, he'll go to them and request them, say, can you come to my wedding as my parents? So this is Shiva and Parvati getting married in the presence of Atri and Anusuya as Shiva's parents. The next Rishi is Bharadwaja, who has written a lot of books on astrology, astronomy and astrophysics. He's also written over 5 lakh horoscopes that are still available and read today by a group of people known as Bhrigu Shastris. He's also the father of Dronacharya, who's the guru of the Pandavas and Kauravas. Agastya and Lopamudra. Now Agastya was born out of a pot, so he was born very short with a pot belly. He is also a direct Shishya of Lord Shiva. Now during Shiva and Parvati's wedding, the entire world will go up north to see the wedding, to Kailasa. So what will happen, the earth will get imbalanced and it will start tilting towards the north. And then Shiva will say, Agastya, you go and wait in the south. And such was the power of Agastya that one person's weight would have balanced out the rest of the world. But now Agastya is really sad because he'll tell Shiva, the entire world got to see you get married, but I couldn't. So when Shiva gets married to Meenakshi, Agastya is the one who performs that wedding. Agastya's wife is Lopamudra, and Lopamudra is a river. So once he will be carrying her in a kamandalam and going somewhere, but Ganesha will know that there is a drought in a particular place and will want that river to flow there. So when Agastya puts down that kamandalam in the evening to do his Sandhya Vandanam, his evening prayers, Ganesha, Pillayar, will come as a crow and he will push that kamandalam and Lopamudra will flow there. Now the Sanskrit word for crow is Kagai and Virita is push and Eri is river. So Kagai, Virita, Eri becomes Kaveri. So the river that flows out of the kamandalam is known as Kaveri. There were two asuras named Vatapi and Ila who were behind killing a lot of Munivars and Rishis. And how they would do this is Vatapi would transform himself into food and Ila would feed it to a lot of Rishis. And as soon as they've eaten it, Ila would say Vatapi Va. And Vatapi would tear open the Rishi's stomachs and come out and they would die. Now, Agastya already knew this. So, as soon as he ate, before Ila could say anything, he would say, Vatapi Jirano Bhava. Hence, Vatapi will get digested and destroyed. Vindhya is a mountain range that is in the middle of India. And Vindhya had a wish that he wanted to be the tallest mountain range in the world, even taller than the Himalayas. But in doing so, he would imbalance the world. So Agastya, to keep Vindhya short, would go to him and say, Vindhya, I need to travel to the south for some work. So can you please reduce the height, reduce your own height so I can cross easily. And once I go back to the north, you can grow tall again. Vindhya, obliging, will become shorter so that Agastya would cross. But Agastya, to keep Vindhya short, will never return to the north and forever stay in the south. Hayagrivar is the guru of Agastya and Lopamudra, and he's the one who teaches them Lalita Sahasranamam and Devi Bhagavatam. Lopamudra is also a Srividya Upasaka, and she discovered a separate sect of Srividya known as Hatividya. Both Ravana and Agastya are very big devotees of Lord Shiva. Once they get into an argument saying who is the greater devotee. So they decide to have a competition. There will be a mountain named Ponmalai, a mountain made out of gold. And they decide for whosoever Veena's music the mountain melts, they are the better devotee. Right? So first Ravana will play and he plays really well and the rocks start shaking but they don't melt. And this is because even though Ravana is really devoted to Shiva, he also has a lot of negative qualities. Whereas when Agastya plays his Veena, the Ponmalai will melt, hence proving that he is the greater devotee of Shiva and the better of the two. Agastya also founded a kind of physiotherapy which is healing through massage known as Varmakale, which is still practiced today in Kerala. He also founded two types of martial arts. One is Silambam, which is fighting with a stick, and Kelleri, which is a form of wrestling. Agastya also wrote Nadi Jyosyam, which is horoscope on palm leaves. Finally, we come to our Chettiar and Chettichi Kada, who are our business people and always sell something related to the theme. So this year, Chettiar is reading Nadi Jyosyam for all of these people. So that is our Golu for this year. Thanks for watching.